Good afternoon, curling fans. Welcome to the 2016 Pacific Northwest Mixed Doubles Invitational here from the Granite Curling Club here in beautiful Seattle, Washington. Beautiful today, anyway. The webcast is brought to you by the Curling Champions Tour, 12th Ann Sports Network, Washington State Curling Association, and the Granite Curling Club. My name is Doug Kaufman, and I am sitting next to perennial C and D event semifinalist for the April Spiel, Bill Rugen. How you doing, Bill?
Very good.
Good.
Very good.
Behind us in the director's booth is Chris Rimple. We'll be showing you all the action here on Sheet 3, as well as giving score updates from the other games in this draw. This is Draw 3 for this challenge. 3 of the 4 games out on the ice have already played their first game. We'll be featuring a game here on Sheet 3 between the team of Corey Dropkin and Jamie Sinclair against Catlin Schneider and Nancy Martin. This is both of their first game. If you'd like to contact us during the webcast, you can email us at webcast@curlwa.org or tweet us at @TESNWA. We've already talked about the feature draw on this sheet. We'll go over the other sheets here just to let you know what else is going on there. A little bit of change on the schedule, so this was not the originally scheduled game on the sheet, but the website has been updated, so if you need to look at what games are going on, you can get an updated website now. On Sheet 2, Chris Plies and Eileen Geving will be on they have a 1-0 record. Will be playing against Fred Maxey and Stephanie Jensen, who are 0-1. We talked about our sheet. On Sheet 4, we have the team of Jason Smith and Monica Walker. They lost their first game. They are 0-1, going against Derek McLean and Alex Carlson. They are 1-0. And then on Sheet 5, a couple teams from Granite Curling Club, Sean Baton, Julian Walker, against Mike Calcagno and Joyance Machai, both 0-1. Joyance is from actually New York, plays out of a curling club out of New York. Teams are out there right now going through their practice and their DSE. So, Bill, being a Chicago Cubs fan, you alert for today? How was yesterday for you?
It was as good as it's ever going to get. And I'm as alert as I'm ever going to get. I'm woke.
Yep. So, again, this is the third draw of this tournament. We had a first draw at 8 o'clock this morning. Draw at 11. Everybody has either played their first game, or in this draw, I believe this finishes everybody for at least their first game. A lot of curl here at Granite Curling Club, getting a little bit more than 4 feet of curl, so the competition directors have decided to have the rock that goes in front of the rings be in the closest position to the rings. And even with that, there hasn't been any problem getting around that rock in order to get to the button or any stone that's near there.
I was unaware that rock could move. The first rock.
What do you mean?
Well, you're saying it's being put in that first position, right?
Well, yeah, to start the end here, and that's a good question. So let's talk a little bit about mixed doubles curling. When you start and end in mixed doubles, you have one rock that the back end of the rock is located by the nearest hash marks. If you look on your monitors there, towards right on the center line there, and then the team with the hammer puts a rock just back button area, again splitting that center line, and the rock that is in front, the guard, that team goes first.
And so you're saying that depending on swing, though.
Yes.
The position of that rock could change
well,
during a tournament.
Not during well, I don't know if it can change during a tournament or not. I don't think so.
But
I don't think you can do that. But before any tournament starts, they position that guard rock for that tournament, depending on how much the ice swings. And since we have such swingy ice, that's why we go with the position that's closest to the rings.
That is great information.
Well, you know, I was learning a lot myself. I did a lot of reading in the last couple of days about mixed doubles. A couple other things with mixed doubles curling, for those that are unaware. Only 5 rocks are thrown per team per end. So there are a total of 6 rocks per team that are in play. The player A would shoot the first and the last rock of an end, Player B would shoot rocks 2, 3, and 4. That order can change during a game, but it cannot change, obviously, during an end. So after the first end, you can change the order in which you're throwing those rocks. You can have either the male or the female shoot the first and last one, and then that can change as you're playing the game.
Well, that's delightfully fluid.
Well, we're struggling through.
Nice.
Also, one other thing you get with mixed, well, there's a couple other things. One is each team has a chance in one end per game to declare a power play situation, which basically means those rocks that are set up before the end starts would then be placed over on the side, just outside the 4-foot. Again, the guard would go in that same equidistant position to the rings out in front, and then the rock that goes in the rings is now splitting the 8 and 12 foot just above the tee line.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, and that does get used, and that's a big advantage for the team, or a big chance for an advantage with the team with a hammer to use corner rocks instead of having to worry about the center line.
I think that's kind of the cool thing is we're seeing the evolution of basically a new sport. So, unlike regular curling, where the rules are the rules, more or less, I mean, it takes a long time to change over to the 4-rock rules, say. Here, the idea is, let's try and make it better. Let's try and make it more interesting.
Yep.
Let's get folks in there, see what works best.
Yep.
Not a lot of sports like that around.
That is for sure. And also with mixed doubles, you see, since you cannot remove a rock for the first three rocks that are thrown, so nothing can be removed until the 4th thrown rock. You see a whole lot of action right around that 4-foot, a lot of draws, a lot of taps, those types of things. And there'll be many ends where you'll see 5, 6, 7 rocks sitting around that 4-foot, right through the end of the end. So there's a lot of scoring back and forth. So that's always an exciting thing.
It'll definitely put a premium on the angles with that many rocks in there. And you know, that little inch is going to make a difference, one side or another.
Absolutely, and you see a lot of play, you know, with that first rock starting back button. When you start getting the taps, now you got a lot of rocks in the back of the rings, and it's different than normal curling where you're trying to deal with a bunch in the top part of the rings. Now you're dealing with a bunch in the back, so you do a lot of freezes, a lot of, you know, in-offs, a couple wheels, those types of things. So always fun to see that.
Wheels are the best.
A couple other things while we have a few more minutes before this game starts. Sweeping. You could have one person sweeping. You could have both people sweeping. There's no skip in a traditional sense as far as having to have somebody on the other end of the ice holding the broom. You can choose to do that if you wish, but you don't have to. What we're seeing a lot lately is more and more of that second person being in a sweeping position right away, as opposed to holding a broom down at the other side. A lot of teams are deciding that it's a little bit more valuable to maybe have that second sweeper involved.
Yeah, I would think at this level especially, the broom is not really that important of a factor to throw at. I mean,
Yep.
people know where they're throwing.
Yep.
They don't need that guide necessarily, that visual guide.
Yep. Trickiest part is once you do throw that rock is if you're hopping up to be that second sweeper. It's a little bit more difficult to judge the line being as a sweeper. So they definitely make more use of those 4-foot lines as far as where that rock is in position on line. So yeah, it's been fun.
Nice. There's a little bit of a mark actually in the 4-foot on this sheet that both the teams are taking a look at. Looks like something warm got placed down there sometime during the preliminary part. You can see it just off the button there.
Yeah, just in the rings there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know what that is.
Both teams were taking a look at it. It almost looks like a slider, like the donut of somebody's slider.
Huh. Intrigue already before the game even starts.
I know.
What is it? Who caused it? Visitors. So once again, if you'd like to contact us and tell us how great we are, we'd just love to hear from you. Please email us at webcast@curlwa.org. or tweet us at the @TESNWA.
And if anybody wants to write in and ask just how much I love the Cubs, feel free. If you've heard a rumor that maybe I slept in my Cubs T-shirt and hat last night,
it is true.
that is not a rumor. That has been confirmed by myself.
So the teams that we're dealing with here on sheet 3, Corey Dropkin and JB Sinclair, they're out of the Four Seasons Curling Club. Relatively recently opened, Four Seasons Curling Club.
Yep, groundbreaking in 2012, so probably 2013 was the first season, I believe.
Yep. And then the other team of Caitlin Schneider and Nancy Martin, they are from Nutana, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
That is correct. Not one English language word in that whole sentence. Nutana was actually, their club opened in 1930.
Ah.
So much older.
Yep. They're not driving home in between draws, I don't think.
Probably
not. Staying in town.
I would guess so.
Okay. So for the competition, there are 24 teams. We've got 4 pools of 6. They are playing round robin within their pools. Then the top 2 teams from each pool will then move on to the quarterfinals. And that's how they are determining that.
And this being an invitational, there's a lot of good teams here, both from Canada and the U.S.
Yeah, there's a lot of Team USA jackets out there.
Yeah.
I should have brought mine, if I could find it.
No comment.
My famous 5th player's jacket.
I believe your name was on the broom bag, wasn't it? Worlds, just so you didn't.
That was just an
brushes.
indication for what I was supposed to carry. That's merely why that was on there.
Help carry the team one way or another.
Yeah. Seems like being fit is more of a thing now in curling than it used to be a long time ago, too.
Yeah.
When did that start?
It kind of snuck up on all of us, I think. It's definitely, I think you started to see it, not surprisingly, with Canadian curlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you could start making a living, it made sense to be in shape.
Yeah, well.
Sweepers could not look like Randy Furby anymore.
Yeah, you can go with that route if you want.
Yes.
I'm hanging on to the old ways.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I think it's interesting, at our club at least, a lot of the new curlers have an interest in mixed doubles.
Yeah.
Certainly, obviously, regular competitive curlers at our club are interested in it, but new curlers seem particularly interested, I think. You know, it gives them a chance to really understand firsthand maybe the strategy a little more. It's kind of nice, too, because it really makes you learn how to throw a draw.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. If you can only hit and you're not good at drawing, then you're not going to be good at mixed doubles.
No.
That's for sure. But
No.
yeah, it's a nice discipline. Little bit of everything involved in there for sure.
Yep.
And you're right, strategy. There's a lot more. You're doing more draws, more taps.
Yep. That is definitely the Doug game. Why are you not playing? Oh, that's right. You got to sweep. Never mind. Everybody has to sweep.
Well, I don't have to. That's the beauty of mixed doubles. I don't have to sweep.
It's a suggestion, not a rule.
It becomes somewhat disadvantageous if you don't.
Fair enough.
All right, so the teams are getting ready to set up for the first end here. I'm assuming with Red putting their rock back button that they would have the hammer, which would be the Caitlin Schneider, Nancy Martin team.
And just for clarification, because we had to look it up, Caitlin is actually the guy on this team.
Right.
So, just so you know.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to pull a fast one here.
That's right.
But we did research.
Well, you always want to make sure.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah. Or we get a lot of nasty emails saying, hey.
That just email that says, hey, by the way, is not particularly nasty.
Well,
it probably just got sent early.
I'm not going to. It just means I got to fill in the rest. Man, we're gonna have fun with this today. I hope the 14 of you that are actually online following are gonna be enjoying this.
I think we just lost 2.
We're on a world feed. Did you know that? Do you know any foreign languages?
Jawohl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you know anything other than Jawohl?
Hi.
Oh.
That's Japanese for yes. I know how to say yes in a lot of languages.
Do you?
And get me another whiskey. What's important is important.
That's right.
All right. Looks like the other sheets have gotten started.
Yep, the other ones have started. We're just waiting here for
the feature sheet. Here we go.
feature sheet. Here we go.
So
They wanted to make sure we were paying attention, I think. Is what it was. Yeah, we're ready. Go ahead.
So it looks like Sinclair will be throwing the first rock here. Corey will be sweeping.
Going with the out-turn draw. First shot.
How was the speed of the ice this morning?
You know, I should have a hard number on it, but I never did take a clocking of it, so I'm not exactly sure. Looks like it's been what it's kind of been for a league here, right around that 24, maybe just a hair quicker.
Nice.
Nice draw there. Little tap. Tapped back a little bit. Nancy Martin now. Follow that rock down. Using the same out turn.
Looks a little hot out of hand, a little wide maybe.
Did seem if you were leaving it alone that the rock really comes over at the end. Big time. Coming right in there. Now getting on it a little bit. For a little freeze tap.
A little bumpity bump.
Yep.
All right. Here comes Corey. Looks like he'll be throwing down the other line now.
Yeah, with the way those rocks are lined up, now he wants to get a little angle going the other direction. Not sure if he's trying to move this or just kind of sit on top of it here. Either would do.
Coming in. He's on it.
Looks pretty good. Is he going to get there? Would like to get a little tap if possible.
Feels like he got a little farther across the face than
Yep.
I think.
I'm not sure. Not sure what happened there.
Caitlin Schneider following him down.
Catlin. Get it right.
Oh, Caitlin, sorry.
No I.
That is...
No second I in Caitlin.
That is my fault. I'm not much for learning.
Coming down with the same in turn.
Definitely out a little farther, though.
A little heavy here, leaving it till the very end. Wants to stay in front. Just rubs it just a hair. Jamie thinks it's he's rubbed it just far enough to where Corey can hit the inside of this and stay on top there. So he's looking to get to the inside of this red rock. Just flop into the center behind the guard here.
Yeah, the space is definitely there.
Coming in,
Clears the
a
guard
little
just
weight.
fine. Got to come
Gets
up,
it
though.
right on the nose. Very nice.
Ooh, splits both the reds out.
Very nice. And you see this quite a bit already. Just 5 rocks thrown, 6 rocks thrown, or 5 rocks thrown, and they're all in the rings, just sitting right around that 4-foot.
Yep.
And these two teams, 2 of the higher seeded teams in the event. I think this is the 4 and 5 seeded teams for the 24-team event, so it should be a good game here. Caitlin Schneider now.
Well, looks like we're going to see our first hit.
Yeah, is he trying to peel off those top 2 there, or is he trying to do the same thing, trying to hit this on the inside? It's tougher to get to the inside of this one. It's
No, this is definitely
hitting on the
more
outside.
control-y kind of weight, I think. Well,
Pretty close.
they did not take much ice there, but
Nope. Going to hit the outside, trying to come up enough to spill both yellows. I think that yellow might jam, but we'll see in a minute here. Gets the top one. Top one bounces off a little bit. Yellow into the red.
And the pocket is formed.
Yeah. Put it up a little bit. Trying to give himself some options for later. That's the thing about mixed doubles, too. There's not much time for later. I mean, you run out of rocks quick. Only 5 rocks thrown per team. And you get down to your last 1 or 2 pretty quickly.
Well, and the pace of play is great, too. I mean, it's everybody's ready to go. You're not really sitting around explaining to your front end what you're trying to do.
Just bring them in for Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Yeah. Word up.
Nice draw in there.
Nice spot. Right?
Kind of protecting.
I think they've got to try that little in off probably.
Yeah, you got a couple ways in. You could do the out turn, come around the other side. The yellow one being that it's top 4 is somewhat problematic because it's a very promotable rock.
Yeah.
Choosing to do the in turn. Is he coming off the back one?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. Other than that, yeah, you'd have to come in the other way.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you solve two problems with one stone, as it were.
Somewhat precise shot here. Doesn't have a whole lot of room from where the angle is. We're upstairs. We're right behind throwing away on sheet 3, so we can see the angle. There's not a lot of room between that top yellow one and the yellow one that's on the side. They're really hitting this one. Trying to get around that top one.
I don't think it's there.
Yep, coming over a little bit.
I think he underthrew the weight just a little bit there, too.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to be overly excited about that.
Thank you. So, yellow, pretty good position right now, lying 1, 2, 3.
Yep. But
and this is Jamie Sinclair's already her last shot. The first end. She could put one maybe just biting the 4.
Yep.
You could even actually go short with this one. You put a straight guard on this. So I guess Nancy could come off that corner one in the 8-foot and come into it that way. So Jamie might want to come in a little bit tighter here.
I think just biting the top 4 would be pretty perfect.
Yeah, as long as you're out counting that back red one. Otherwise, there's no need to come in that deep.
True that.
So you either gotta out count that back red one, or you can afford to be a little bit higher. Rock coming down on the out turn. Last shot for Jamie Sinclair here in the first. Looking to put some big pressure on.
Not a lot of sweeping so far. There he goes.
Sweeping now, bringing it in.
Line's great. Need to cover up that hole little. Might be a little
coming
deep,
in. Yeah, you know.
Oh,
all right, so that just skates in a little bit deeper than they wanted it. It left a pocket, left a shot out of the end here.
Yeah, I don't really think they wanted to try.
Yeah,
that
I think Corey. Corey at the end knew that it was going to be a little bit heavy, so he was actually trying to sweep that one out of there, not create that pocket.
Yeah.
But couldn't get it far enough. So.
Yep, the escape route has been set.
Yes, Nancy says thank you for not putting that one exactly where you wanted. She has only thrown one shot in this end, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. That's the thing about throwing just the first one and the last one. You don't get a super feel, I think, like that middle position person where you're throwing 3 in a row. They're usually 3 draws.
Right.
So she's going to have to make a good one here. But it is there. Catlin getting ready to sweep.
No touchy.
Yeah, must have enough. Rock needs to curl big time.
There it comes.
Needs to curl big time.
It
Looks
is
like
not going to get there.
a little heavy, yeah. A little heavy, a little wide.
That is going to leave a mark.
These 3, probably 4.
I think 4.
So team Dropkin and Sinclair get a big 4, big steal of 4 here in the first.
Well, the hole has been dug.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing, again, still with mixed doubles is you cannot remove a stone until your 4th thrown stone. So this is the one where you could see big leads and see big comebacks because a little bit tougher to play defense in this format. So see what happens. needs to move that a little higher. I think it needs to go right above that mark. To spot it, which they haven't. Oh well.
Does not look like.
Yeah, it's from my reading of it. I think you're supposed to be able to see the line right on the backside of that rock. Otherwise, you're never going to know whether you're just over the middle of it. I mean, you can tell center line wise, but I think that's the reason those are on there. But not the huge deal.
Yeah, it looks like
Sheet
2 may have set up the same way too, though.
Yeah, well. All right.
Rocks in play.
Coming in here with the first. This looks really good. If it gets there, is it going to be enough?
Hard finish.
Yep. Pulling it over. All right. Just pulled up a hair short. You can put a lot of pressure on that team with your very first rock of the end. If you can get that thing top button or frozen on that back one, boy, that puts a lot of pressure on that other team right off the bat. Came up just a little short there. Not a horrible position, though. Certainly work with that rock.
Yeah, it'll be tough to get around that side.
Nancy Martin now. First rock of the second.
Looks a little narrow.
Yep. Wants to hit it. I guess you could split it off, do a couple corners.
Yep.
Not end of the world.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Got that off the center a little bit. Got ourselves a corner.
Yeah, the set rock out front did not move in the last end, so this is a nice little difference. Little tappity tap, probably.
Yep, Corey Dropkin with his first. Gonna try to promote the rock put there by Jamie Sinclair. Just looking to push his straight back right onto the red. Doesn't necessarily want to push the red anywhere. Just wants to push this yellow one back into the right on the red one. Looks a little up on the weight here. It's going to move something.
This could be pretty good.
Yep. Oh, really nice.
Ding dang.
Tapped it right back onto the red. Very nice shot. Schneider now trying to move that yellow one. Get it off the path that's on the 12-foot there. Coming down, this is the fourth rock thrown, so he can remove this one now. So playing a little hit and roll behind the corner guard. Good shot. Exposed a little bit on the outside, but those rocks in the center. Going to ignore that corner one. Could you make any of that out, Bill?
Negatory.
I could hear him talking, but couldn't hear what he was saying.
Yeah.
Got shot rock. Trying to come around that center guard, I think. Trying to get into a...
Definitely a different line here.
Yep. Might play a little rub off this corner one now, off the red. Sweeping hard. Easy.
Whoa, big fella. Easy, big fella.
There we go. Well, it's another rock in the rings. Guarding maybe half that rock.
Yeah,
Catlin has the ability to get to the yellow one. Can't.
I think you could get to the inside of it a little, but I don't know if you'd want to.
Yeah, I think just looking to kind of push that one, get that red one out from being kind of a backer for the yellow.
Yeah.
Set this up for later. I don't think he's trying to straight remove it, although they might be hitting this thin enough to maybe just move it out of there. A little bit wide. Got to turn a bunch.
A little wide, probably a little heavy.
Trying. Just barely touches it. Rolls out. So Team Sinclair still has a rock. Shot rock. Pretty good position here.
Yep.
Could guard it again.
A little short is not bad here.
Looks like they're choosing to come in, though. Looks like they're choosing to come around that those centers again. Problem with the guard, if you leave it short of the rings and they make that angle slash on the red, then
Yeah, I wasn't talking.
covering there is all of a sudden.
I was just talking short, not woefully short.
You got it.
But again, this line is.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, 3 shots in a row down that line that seemed to have.
We don't want to set up
stayed
as the easy double.
I don't know, maybe it's just a little quicker on that line, or.
All right. I think that opened up a little bit of a opportunity here. Probably loses that back red one, but I think they'll take this opportunity to make a play at it. Could hit the inside of it and just flop on top. Could throw a heater here. Lie 1-2. Not throwing the heater, so I think he's going for the trying to hit the inside option.
Yep.
Through it. He is on this rock right away. Got to get around that center guard. That's the big one.
Be close there. He's by.
Oh, nice sweeping. Very good.
Very nice. Still not.
Yeah, that was
shot.
it was the shot that they called.
Yep.
For that to be any good, they need to get some access to that yellow at some point. And again, like I said, with only throwing 5 rocks per team, you run out of rocks pretty quickly.
Yep.
We are down to, I guess you would essentially skip stones, both sides. 1 each. Jamie Sinclair now. Looking to protect the 1 yellow rock that's in there. I think red is actually
Red
live
shot.
one. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. They
red
got
is
shot
shot.
out of that. All right.
Yep.
So she can't get that one out of there, so she's going to try to put this rock in a position where red cannot get another one in there.
Well, I think if the line waits right, they're going to try and sit right on top of their own rock there.
Yep.
There's
Very
that
good.
line, though.
Even worse, you got to be careful here because red's line 1, 3, 4.
Yep. Nope. This is definitely not going to be deep.
Coming in, sweeping hard. All right.
That shuts that down.
Yep. So you can't come into it directly. And here's a shot we were talking about earlier.
Can they see enough of that rock?
They can see enough to make it. I don't know if they can stick around. I don't think there's any way that both red rocks stick around.
Yeah.
So looking probably best case 3.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely looking to get more back. I almost feel like
Mhm.
they could come down that other wing and probably play a little. I feel like they could get to their red and maybe play that little red-yellow tap and get 2 out of that possibly.
Red,
but
yeah, I'd have to. Well, I don't know if you can get enough energy to get it to
right.
hook enough and then have enough energy to when that yellow it bounces off the red to get it out of
Yeah.
there. I don't think it does you any good.
Yeah.
So they're going to play the big slash. Is that a slash?
Yeah.
Is that enough of an angle to be a slash?
I believe it is.
Okay. Playing the corner raise takeout, basically. If they make this, it's
Game on.
game on for sure. Well, that's already game on, but 2, 3, or 4, if you get really lucky with the shot. I don't think 4 is there, but 2 or 3, certainly. Being close, light clean. It's pretty close. Oh, just over too much. Just a little bit. Hit it just a hair too thin. Came off her own red. It was a good attempt. Unfortunately, the bad side of that is, they were lying 1 and now ends up being a steal. But early in the game, so Team Sinclair and Dropkin steal 1 in the second.
That line proved to be a little bit of a bugaboo. It felt like everybody threw down that line, that end. It just hung a little bit.
Yeah, it was close. That was
Yep.
really close.
Yep.
Unfortunately, really close.
Yep.
When you got one of yours, it's a downside. That's what happened. It happens sometimes, but it's early.
For me, it happens more than sometimes.
We usually don't. You don't miss it close enough to really have any net. You usually don't make it worse by just completely missing.
That is the beauty of being bad.
Yes. All right, starting in 3. 5-0 lead for Team Dropkin and Sinclair.
And doesn't look like anybody's going to change up their lineup.
Certainly not this team. They got 5 and 2 ends.
Yeah, if it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Looking to, again, try to freeze right on top of the red stone. Coming in, might be tapping it a bit. Totally fine, still in play, so that's legal, no worries there. Nancy Martin keeping the same order.
Coming in on the same path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember last time I saw this many fit people on a curling sheet.
It wasn't a local event, I can tell you that. Teams must have been coming in from out of town. Unless it's a junior spiel.
Yeah.
All right, 2 red rocks, 1 yellow rock, 8 foot or deeper. Corey Dropkin with his first throw here in the third. Really doesn't want to mess with that guard up there. Sweeping really hard to get around it. Doesn't really want to move it. Just
never a doubt.
He may have, I don't know, if that touched the backside of it, or did he get around it clean?
I didn't see any movement, but it doesn't look like it's quite centered on the line either anymore.
Comes in, back 4. Catlin Schneider now.
Same path.
Nope.
I lied. Good thing there's video too.
Don't know if he wants to get all to it. He may just want to be top 4 with this one. Full 4 foot. I don't think he needs to make a play on the yellow yet anyway.
Definitely late break on that side.
Mm-hmm. Coming in. Looks like it's going to get all the way to it. Little push. All right. Sets up in a back button situation. Corey Dropkin coming the other way. Try to freeze that on the inside half. Freeze all the way to 2/3 of it, I think. This is one where he go ahead and get all the way to it. It's totally fine.
Yeah. He's got a ways to go.
Yep. A lot of room around that guard. Must be sweeping for weight.
Or just trying to pull it over.
Yeah, sweeping for both. Coming in there. Almost. Just biting the top of the 4 foot. Red's lying 1. Yellow lies 2 and 3. Maybe 4. Can't tell. Pretty close. Catlin Schneider coming in again with the out turn. Maybe come right down to his. I don't know if he wants to push into that back yellow yet or not.
Oh, I wouldn't think so.
Maybe just come in full 4.
Yep, half under that.
Yeah.
Oh, but that is not
It's coming in. It's coming in deep. He's hitting it.
Another 1-2, but it's a bit of a precarious 1-2.
Yeah, he didn't want to hit it. I don't think he wanted to hit it on the outside.
No.
I think he wanted to hit it on the inside, if anything.
I concur. I know that makes you feel better when I agree with your calls.
I'm not so sure. Bank on it.
Or it makes you rethink your call.
Yeah, it makes me think I don't know. So Corey Dropkin with his last shot of this end. So we'll get one more after this. Going to try to hit the inside of that red, flop over again. Just a nice little heavy draw is fine. You just got to push it. If you can push it all the way to the 12 foot, you shouldn't have any worries. Trying to hit the inside, get close on here. Could take off. There it goes. Now he's on it. He's going to hit it. Going to get a little roll after this.
Well, that's pretty
nice. Oh, that
nice.
is really nice. Like that, but he lined it up.
Yep, for the jam on the back red.
Yeah. Very nice shot. Fully buried on the outturn side. Even maybe another inch or so beyond buried. Puts Catlin a little bit of a pickle here with his last. Trying to play some defense, you know.
Yeah.
Getting these rocks out of there.
Leave something a little easier for Nancy.
Yeah. That's the thing. Stubbles, you have a lot of risk-reward type stuff. Okay, so did you see what the call was, Bill? I wasn't...
I believe it's a hit.
Just try to spill some stuff out of there.
Yeah. I think even...
All right, coming out with some weight this time. A little damage control here. Is it right?
A bit narrow, though.
Trying to get rid of at least both yellows. Likely going to lose that red one in the process.
There we go.
There we go, moving some. Yeah, those things were lined up just so perfect for Dropkin there. It's just those rocks weren't going anywhere. They were lined up exactly where he wanted it. So Sinclair now lying one again.
Two.
Lying two, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Trying to determine if red can get in there and spill both yellows. So they talk about maybe guarding against that. Do you put another one in there? I don't know if that screws up your angles at all. That's things they're discussing.
Yeah.
You could even, if you wanted to, you could even come down and play yellow into red. Just kind of sit on top of it there.
Feel like they're trying to come down right. Sit basically nose probably on their own.
Nose on that back yellow one?
That's what it looked like, but it definitely looked like they also said a little heavy isn't terrible. Move off that back red a little.
If you angle it to just, you know, a little bit on the outside there to where that one jams again into the red.
Yep.
And put the reds at a bit of a pickle because that's that rock you can't tell from the screen, but it's half around that guard too, so might be coming right to it. If it does come right to it, right to the nose and stays on top of it, that's going to make it very difficult again for red to even score.
Yep. And going away, it definitely seems to break more late
no question.
On that line.
With that outturn, you bet.
And I think maybe that's where they got a little...
All right, rock coming in.
That is pretty nice.
That is pretty darn nice. It's top button, lying 1, 2, 3. Now red is deciding, is there maybe a triple here?
Yeah, a little off nose.
That was
definitely the back red would probably have to go, but...
Not a lot of room there. That red one, looking down the sheet here, on the monitor there, it looks like there's plenty of room there. But, boy, I tell you, looking down on that sheet, you'd have to just miss that red one in order to have a chance to make this. And even then, you're not hitting it very thin.
Yeah, I do not know if that's there.
Boy, if you threw a bomb, but I think you'd have to throw a ton of weight. It's that middle rock, the one that's shot, that's going to be the question one. Whether that's going to have enough energy to get into that back yellow one, the one that's sitting back 4 foot, to drive that out.
Well, let's find out.
I don't know if it's going to drag it. We'll know in a minute. All right, looking to just miss that top red. Very precise shot. Needs to curl a little bit. It's going to hit that red. Just hits the red a little bit, pushes the yellow.
2 yellow.
Another steal of 2 for Team Sinclair and Dropkin. Gives them a 7-0 lead. Yeah, they just... Corey's put a couple of nice ones there on his rocks where it just it's kind of forced Team Martin and Sinclair or Schneider to try to play some defense on theirs. You know, being the team with a hammer, that makes it tough. Just hasn't given them a whole lot.
Yeah, they've had troubles getting Getting set up well.
Getting positioned, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So rocks are going up again. This is the time that Team Martin and Schneider are going to choose to use their power play option. You get you get this once per game per team. This gives the team that that has the hammer, in theory, more of a chance to score more points. Better opportunity to score more points.
This is interesting. Well, I haven't seen this actually
Used,
pulled
done?
out of the quiver before.
Oh, quiver! Well
Yes.
done. Yep. Well, we've seen it already a couple of times, both draws earlier today, and every time it's been used, it has scored multiple points for the team using it. So, I think we in the earlier draw, 11 o'clock draw, Mac and Emily, Team Guy, good. They were down, I think 5-1. Used the power play and scored 5.
Nice.
Ended up winning that game 7-6 eventually. So, got to be a little careful. Team Sinclair, Dropkin. Trying to put this one, I think they were trying to put that top 4 right in the center there just to get some play away from the corner there. Being that that one's just biting the 12-foot, I think they're ignoring that one. Maybe go around the corner again. Since, again, you cannot clear that corner.
Right. And it's nice to see some different lines getting played, too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, looking to go right on top of theirs, preferably. Here it comes.
Oof. That is some movement.
Yep. Comes as long as it's around the guard and you want to be off this thing. By the other one. Yep, just a little heavy. Team Sinclair now. Like nothing more than to peel, but can't. This would be a good game for us.
Yeah.
If you can't peel for a while, yeah.
Yep.
We got to get Liam down here working on his mixed doubles.
I feel like he's working on it all the time.
He likes those rocks in play. It's apparent.
I just see it as good sportsmanship on his part. He's trying to help the other team out as much as possible.
No
And
fee is too big. No lead is too big. All right, looking to move that corner maybe into the rings, open up ability later to get to those reds. You cannot remove the stone in play, but you certainly can move it.
Well, that is a pretty
That
nice
is
shot.
really nice. Wow. Get rid of the corner.
That is straight up high performance stuff.
pushes that rock top 4 behind one of their other rocks. That's pretty darn good.
Yep, it's a peach, hon.
Yeah. So now, Catlin Schneider down 7. Has to ignore that one now, or is choosing to ignore it. Put that corner up again.
Yep.
Try to protect those 2 red ones, at least for a little bit.
Oh, that might have curled a little too much. They're definitely taking a look. Yep.
Gonna make a play. Pro side's hitting that guard.
Yep.
So he will not be wide. That's my guess.
Yep.
That's I'm predicting. How's that? How's that for a prediction?
That is quite
That
the
is pretty.
prediction.
That is
Yeah.
dynamite commentary.
Yep.
Yeah, this is just verbal gold right here. Coming down, out turn, attempting to hit the one in the rings. If he's a little tight and hits the guard, not a big deal at all. Sweeping hard.
Clippity clop.
Trying to get around. Oh, just nicks it.
Oops.
But again, that was 1A and 1B. He
Yep.
did the 1B, which is not a problem at all. That was the other shot they were going to do, was peel the guard, so
Yeah.
totally fine.
That's too late.
How about that
in-
prediction, though? I was right on the money again, wasn't I?
You were.
Oh, man.
You were.
I'm on fire.
Yes. It's like a grease fire.
All right. Team Schneider here.
And it's too late in the end to replace that guard, so
Yeah.
now you got to
That's
go
the thing. Like I said, you run out of rocks quick, and
Yeah.
at some point, it's like, okay, we got to go get it now. We're trying to play the double, I think. Or was he playing hit and roll the whole time?
Hit and roll.
Oh, that's nice there.
That is a beaut.
Really well done.
Power play in effect.
Okay, I think we're going to see a hit here, Bill.
Yep.
I'm going crazy again.
Yeah.
Going out on a limb.
That better be a big limb.
All right. So glad I asked you to join me today. It's fantastic.
Just to think I was going to sit home and watch a Cubs replay.
Out turn. Looking to remove at least 2 reds. Coming down.
Pretty slides.
Mm-hmm.
There's something for you to aspire to. Boom, boom.
There it is. There's 2 of them.
2
Rolls
banger
to the
and-
center. All right.
That is some nice shooting text.
Mm-hmm. Boy,
And-
put him in an angle, too, where even if he peels the 2 or knocks the 2 yellows out, I think the yellow goes down to the red again.
Yeah.
Good, clean living.
I've heard of it.
Team Sinclair and Dropkin looking good in the powered played end of their opponents. Going to be tough for them to score multiple points.
I just the concept too of being able to change up the flow of a game is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, with everything playing to the center from most ends, and you're really just playing more
Yeah.
or less those 2 lines, those 2 turns.
Yep. It's kind of interesting you see that power play move more often than not played when the team is behind. It would
Yep.
be an interesting concept to see somebody actually using it early, trying to get way ahead.
Yep. Oh, both the yellows go.
Yep, nice shot. Very well done. There's a chance for 2. So, Jamie Sinclair with her last. Couple options here. Could try the slash double. Could try the hit and roll. Got to get shot out of it, so
Yeah. I think they hit in the roll.
yeah, pretty tough. It's high in that 12-foot there. You can't roll very far is the problem.
Agreed.
Wonder if she's going to throw down weight a little bit just to get a little bit more angle on the roll there
Yeah.
and still stick around.
Yeah, that is tough.
Control-ish. Don't want to mess around with bumper. You want to make sure this rock gets out of here. so-
Agreed. Agreed.
Just looking for a little hit and flop. Needs to roll this rock probably, between 6 inches and, 1.5 feet, 2 feet?
Yeah. It felt like Corey was looking at rolling it a little farther. Maybe they were just thinking of hitting it a little thinner.
Yeah, just got to be careful with the weight here.
Yep.
Coming up.
Either
Roll up.
it's
pretty
perfect
close.
or a little wide.
Pretty
One of the
close.
two.
Yeah,
Nope.
just
Nope.
seemed like that was a lot of weight. If you wanted to stick around for a shot, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure you were going to get it with that much weight.
All right. Nancy Martin with the open draw for the deuce.
Yep.
Get on the board.
Yep.
Can't win if you don't score, as I found out in many games.
That is gold right there too.
Thank you.
I'm going to remember that one.
That's the gold standard, my friend. Call the Federal Reserve. We're back on the gold standard.
Can't win if you don't score.
Like I said, I've learned that through experience.
Yes. All right. Draw for 2. Needs not quite a piece of the 8, but close.
Kind of interesting. They played down the side that hasn't been played down this end.
It is a little interesting. You're right. Most of the rocks have been on that other side. It's looking pretty good, though.
Yep.
Very nice. Good draw. Gets their deuce.
Let loose the deuce.
So after 4 ends, Team Sinclair and Dropkin are now up 7-2. And they have the option to take the hammer. Did you know that was an option, Bill?
I did not.
Yes, you can choose to put your rock actually in front of the rings and have their rock be in the rings and choose to go first if you like.
So fluid.
Haven't seen anybody do it.
Nope.
But you have the option.
Interesting.
I don't see that happening, though. Just a guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. But I did not know that was an option. As you can tell, I wanted to come to this with fresh eyes.
Well, put it this way. I did a lot of reading this last few days.
Which is more reading than you've probably done in a long time.
Well, there were a lot of big words in there, yes.
Yep. Your lips get tired like usual? That's Doug's exercise, reading. Some of the fittest.
I worked it into my program.
And so it begins.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic having me sit down here for a couple of these.
Talk about fresh eyes. Freshly bloodshot eyes.
All right. Enough about us. Team Martin going first, looking to freeze, not really wanting to move much around here. They want to get a lot of stuff sitting right in that 4 foot. Pushes it all the way to the deep 12 position.
Questione, Douglas.
Yes, sir.
Had that rock gone out,
Yes.
is it like the free guard zone where the red would have come out of play?
Yep.
And everything resets?
Correct.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Thank you very much for asking me a question I actually knew, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries.
That would be a softball right there.
Ding ding.
Just setting it right up. All right. Jamie Sinclair with her first. Here in the 5th. It's the thing, you can't remove it. I'm trying to think of the best thing that you can do to kind of set it up to just get rid of all that stuff later. Or are they still playing offense and trying to generate a lot of... Oh, I like that.
Yep. Definitely
Love
like
that.
the call.
Oh. Hadn't thought of that. Yeah, split off that center guard. Little split. That was fantastic.
Yep.
Open it up.
Now you have to play.
See, now I know. I got to write that down. That's
yep.
it. I like that.
Yeah. Well, that's yet another
Add that to
shot
the-
we struggle with.
Yes.
In our games, so no reason for you to think about it.
We've done that on accident many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we were behind.
Yeah, typically when we need to, yeah. And usually when we don't have the hammer.
Roger that.
All right, coming in, looking to probably replace the guard, I would be guessing. Need to junk that thing up in front. They're down quite a bit. This rock is coming in, which means that rock is going away.
2 for the price of 1.
I would say so. I think that's the playing the hit and roll as their first option.
2 birds with 1 stone, as it were.
Yes. Yeah, looks like it's right at the right angle where you not only get behind the corner, but make the double anyway. Guess we should, at some point, we're going to need to update these other sheets here.
We could do that.
Let's see this hit and roll behind cover here first. A little double
He got up
hit
and got
and roll.
on that very quickly.
Yeah, but it's close. Here it comes.
Nosy nose.
Ah.
Yeah. I think they got off it just because they thought they might be able to get it the other way.
Yeah, tough to say. Might have been worried about it. We've seen a couple rocks on that same line over curl.
Yep.
So could have been a hair concerned about that. You're right. They might have been playing it the other way, go around the other corner. Not quite sure. Write that down. We'll ask him after the post-game interview. Catlin Schneider now. Needs to get the guards up. Coming in a little heavy again.
A little directional. Nope.
Okay, just a little bit deeper than he wanted. He didn't want it that deep. Might be able to get all three of them here. I think he would be totally fine with that.
Yep. They are throwing the big weight here, it looks like. Or else she was scratching her head. Could have been either. I can't.
Could have been either one. All right, deciding the turn.
Could be the super duper heater peeler.
Yeah, not a whole lot of ice there, is there?
Nope.
Especially when we see this thing turning too. Oh yeah,
Super duper heater peeler.
here we go.
Trademark Greg Roman.
Ready on the sides. We start catching Granite here. Ding, 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 ding. Even stuck around.
Yep.
Stick around behind the T line though. Gives Nancy something to freeze to. Could even freeze on the inside of this and get shot. Catlin with his last here in the fifth.
That definitely changed the landscape.
Mm-hmm. Trying to freeze. Can freeze it just on the inside. You actually get shot with this freeze as well.
Might be a little light.
Yeah. I'm sweeping line too.
I think a little both.
Trying to get there. Wants to be shot with this if he can.
A little
Pull
over
up
curl.
Just, oh yeah, weight was great.
Yep.
Just over curled a little bit. I can see about just over half. Could be really greedy and freeze on the inside corner of that red.
No need to be greedy at this point.
True.
You've already been to the buffet line at least once.
It's probably going to leave leave Nancy Martin that same shot,
shot,
though. I
yep.
think he's trying to just pick this one clean. I think he would love to be able to just hit the yellow one as well. But, oh, got them both. Okay, that works well.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
All right.
Oop, straight draw behind the corner now.
Yep. I guess they have a couple rocks left. See, that's the thing. I always get the count wrong. No, they don't. This is his last rock. Did they change the order? They must have. Oh, here she comes.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, yeah.
Nope.
Bill, you got to write all this stuff down.
Just here for the power play.
Thank you. So Nancy Martin now her last shot here in the fifth.
Trying to get behind that corner.
Definitely needs to hide. There are two yellow rocks in there. So has to hide this one. And hope that Jamie Sinclair can't get to it. In turn. Straight draw.
It's got a long way to go.
Yes, it does. It's got to curl a bunch.
And maybe even slow down a little.
Yeah.
Time for-
Can't sweep it for line. Sweep the outside of it for line because it's heavy anyway. So just going to leave that one skate where it is. Wide open hit.
For 3.
Yep. Hit and stick for 3. Hit and roll out for 2. Obviously wants to hit and stick, but big thing is the hit.
Yep. Contact is job 1 here.
Contact. All right. This might be the last shot we see on this sheet here, my friend. She hit and sticks. That's a 10-2 score.
That is a lot of making up.
Mm-hmm. After this shot, we'll update the other sheets as well. All right, Jamie Sinclair with her last here in the 5th. Looking to hit and stick to get her 3. And take a commanding lead. Yep, but it's all good. It's pretty smooth right there.
Ding dang.
3 more for Team Sinclair and Dropkin. Now take a 10-2 lead after 5 ends. Looking pretty sharp.
Yep.
Made the good ones good, and the tough ones, and they made good as well. So,
yeah. And was this? Did you say this was Martin's first game?
This is both of their first game.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, then I'm not surprised they're playing back. Definitely want to get a little more time in then.
Could be. Yep.
Everybody else has got, a game under their belt.
True.
And that way you don't have to push the rocks back.
More importantly, well, you don't have to. I think we have people for that anyway.
I think we do.
A lot of rocks are 4 people. All right, starting the 6th. Oh, let's update the other sheets quickly here in between. On sheet 2, we have a 4-2 score after 5 ends.
For Geving.
Yep, Geving/Plies. Over Maxi on sheet 4. What do we got, Bill?
On sheet 4, Carlson up 3-1 over Walker after. Wait, I'm trying to read it. 4-1, it looks like, actually.
Yep.
After 4.
Okay.
And then on sheet 5, got a barn burner.
Yeah.
And quick play to boot. It looks like they have finished 6 ends already. And Michai 6, Walker 5.
Wow. Yeah, that's been some action on that sheet. So score 1.
And that would definitely be a bit of an upset. As it stands now.
Okay. Back here on our feature sheet, sheet 3. Corey Dropkin, Jamie Sinclair. Did you see what happened with the first one? Looks like they were maybe...
Looks like they tapped it up somehow.
Yeah, a little push on their first one or something.
Yep.
And Red just put another guard up. All right.
Looks like they're going to do it again.
Yeah, looking maybe push another one into the rings.
Split that center one on.
Yeah, maybe. Open it up a little bit.
Nope.
Ends up being another draw, another guard, I should say. Okay. T. Martin down. We've switched the order here on Nancy's now throwing the in between 3 rocks. They are lying 1, down 8. Going around.
And this side did 2 ends ago.
Yep.
Tended to run a little straighter, a little faster.
Yep.
Seems it again.
They got the straighter part right. That's good clearance of the guard there. That would have been fine, but it is a little heavy. Wants this to stick around and be counting that yellow. I don't think it is.
Negatory.
All right. Could see some, speaking of heaters,
Yep.
could see some movement here. Not really any bad ones to peel here.
No.
Pick one. Pick one that you're going to hit the most with the other ones. Just deciding whether to play it from the outside. Slash the outside of it. Maybe play a wheel. Hit the very inside of it. Hit the other yellow and shoot out the side there.
I think they're going this way.
Yep. It's pretty thin.
I think
But,
they
you
hit
know,
it.
you hit it
Yep.
a little bit thicker. You hit the yellow. Who knows? You might get lucky. I don't know if you hit.
Pluck the red.
Yeah. I don't know if it works out that angle or not, but.
And then a complete change.
And we're wrong. Good in theory.
Well, we were only going on the information we were given.
That's it. Now they're going to decide to play around. They're going to draw around.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it, but
Or maybe they're afraid.
That's why I'm up here.
Maybe they're afraid of losing that second counter. I wouldn't think so. But
Nope, I wouldn't think so either. Not in that position.
Huh.
All right, coming in. Little in-turn draw.
Line's good.
Yeah,
Whoa.
trying to get it to curl. Here it
There you
comes.
go. Both on it.
Coming
Both on
now.
it.
All right.
It's not a bad spot.
So they get another rock in there.
Lie 2, well buried.
Is
it buried?
Well, they're not. Oh, second shot. You mean.
Yeah. Second shot. Yep.
Yep. All right, game on. We're going to come in with the out-turn draw this time. Out-count that yellow one that was just put up there. Yellow one is all the way around that red guard, but just around it. So I think you could still get to it and move it a little bit if you wanted to. All right. Out-turn draw. This is pretty tight. Yep. It's tough because you're sweeping enough to get around it. I don't know if you're going to be able to stop it.
I don't think you could sweep or get around
All
it,
right.
actually.
Curl a little bit too much. Moves the center over.
That's going to leave a mark.
Mm-hmm. Team Sinclair now calling for another one in the rings. Now has some access to get on top of that red one.
Yeah, they get into the 4 foot behind that center stuff. That's
Yeah, he's got a thing here. I think not only that, I think he can get all the way to it and just sit right on top of it, and then it's going to be really hard.
Yep.
Probably is looking all the way to freeze too, in case that red corner one is thrown in there. All right, Corey Dropkin. I think he's trying to freeze the red. Freeze it just on the side he can see there.
comes the curl.
That's going to be really tough for Team Martin to get to it. The line's pretty good. Is it going to come over? It's going to get past. No, just hair shy. Not the worst spot to put it, though.
Yep.
Tough for Red to get another one in there, at least currently.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't.
They only have
You
2
can't.
rocks left.
Not enough space to get underneath it either. So
Yep. Hitting and hoping here. Nancy Martin with her last shot. The team gets one more because they switched orders, so Catlin will throw the last rock in this end. Looking now to make the double. Play that top yellow into the yellow one that's on the side of the 4 foot. Stick around. Maybe use it later. Would be nice to be sweeping that one, but they have no sweepers. Ugh. Just over curl. Oh! And with that wick, tapped another yellow Sinclair rock into to a scoring position. Looks like yellow is 1 now. Lion shot. Thank you very much.
that could not have gone much worse.
Nope. Now what? What do you guard?
You just overlap the front yellow somehow, right?
Yeah, I don't know. They can't really do any damage by sending a yellow one in there. Yellow one jams a red, so they don't have to worry about that. I mean, all you're really worried about is red just drawing one in there, right?
Right.
Even if red comes in with a slash on that corner one, yellow one's not going anywhere.
No.
I think you put a guard on this thing. I think that will about do it. I don't see red getting one in there.
No.
So we think they're going to just put a guard, 2.5, 3 guard, right in the hole there between the center line and that corner just outside the 4 foot red one. No reason to come in. They might be coming in, but there's no reason to.
Here comes the curl.
Yeah. It's not a guard. It's coming in. Gonna get a second one in there.
Holy moly. And now
All
they
right.
lie.
Well, it gets some 1, 2, 3, bounces Red out of there, but now Red has a shot to get shot. Not,
Yeah.
I don't think Sinclair Dropkin are overly concerned about that. But boy, I tell you what, if she puts a guard on that, I don't see a Red scores.
No, agreed. I mean, maybe
The only thing he's looking at now is how he can score a bunch, but I don't think there's any shot for him to score a bunch. So he's going to take his draw, try to get his one,
Yep.
move on from there.
I mean, I like the aggressiveness, but you would have had to get it right on the nose.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you put any guard up there, I don't see Red. I don't see how they could score.
Yeah.
Been wrong before, though.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's happened.
Really?
Well, I thought it happened once, but I was wrong.
Oh, fair enough.
All right, Red coming in.
He's on it already.
No, he's fine. Line, if he's sweeping it for line, doesn't need to worry about that. That's good. It's got a curl, actually, a little bit now.
Should come.
He's trying.
Moves to the directional.
Yep. Trying to get that to hook. Needs to hook. I'm going to show Lisa Rugen that shot, the merits of sweeping early.
And that is it.
Yeah, I think yellow ended up stealing at least 2. Might have got 3. Just 1? Not going to matter. Shaking is going on.
It's like Doug on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Whole lot of shaking.
And with that, Team Dropkin and Sinclair win their first game of the tournament. They go to 1-0. Being the first game for Catlin Schneider and Nancy Martin, they are 0-1. We're going to switch over to Sheet 2. Sheet 2 is Helene Geving and Chris Plies from Duluth, Minnesota, taking on, and they are 1-0, taking on Fred Maxey and Stephanie Jensen from the Coyote Curling Club in Phoenix. They are 0-1. We're, most of the way through end number 7. Maxey and Jensen, Plies and Geving are ahead 4-3, and they have the hammer here in the 7th. I think this is Fred Maxey's last shot of the end.
I would concur. Fred just freshly back from Russia.
That's right, for the
World Mixed.
World Mixed 4-person. I think they made the playoffs.
Yep, qualified.
Yep, lost the quarterfinal. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it does sound right.
Round of 16, or was it a quarter?
Quarter,
Okay.
I believe.
All right. Looks like Red is got 3 rocks on the rings. 1, 2, 3. Fred looking to hit shot stone, maybe flop in front of the other one. Maybe flop behind the guard, although if he flops behind the guard, I don't know if he gets shot. But that looks like, oh, he's probably making the double. That's what he's doing.
And
Oh!
Oof.
Just missed.
Oh, he was going for the floppy double.
Yeah. But if the double, maybe he rolls too far. It looks like they got shot out of it, though. It's really close. They're standing over the top of it looking at it, so I don't know if our monitors are going to tell us any better.
Definitely looks yellow.
Yeah, nice shot.
Maybe even just touching the forefoot.
Got around the guard, too. So
Yep.
Chris Plies, last shot here in the 7th. I'm guessing the ice is swinging enough over there as well. If it's anything like these other sheets, he can get to it. Not the easiest shot in the world. But he doesn't have to move it very far to score his deuce here either. Just has to move it, what, an inch or 2?
Yeah, probably a little more than a pass.
All right, just coming down, just trying to
A little push at the end.
just barely move that yellow.
That looks good.
He's got some weight on this one. But he does have a lot of area to roll to as well, so.
Oh, pushing it. Wow.
Coming around,
Big
trying
move.
to get. Oh!
Clack. Oh, maybe he'll luck out here, though.
Yellow sweeping, that's behind the tee, but cannot sweep it far enough. So
Red gets their one.
Chris Plies gets a one out of it. Boy, that took a big late move, didn't it?
Yeah.
So Team Plies and Geving.
Yep. Geving.
I'll take a 2-point lead going into the final end. Other games are still going. Sheet 4 looks 6-1.
Carlson over Walker.
I think Derek won. Carlson won their first game too, so could somehow hold on to that. They'd go to 2-0.
Yep.
Good start for them.
Yep. And over on sheet 5, we have an interesting situation. Michai up 2 without hammer. That would definitely, I think, qualify as an upset.
Yeah. But I mean, Mike he's won the world mixed doubles.
Not world.
Not
US.
world. You're right.
US.
U.S. mixed
Yep.
doubles.
Yep.
Yeah, not world. Sorry.
But I also know Mike's not playing a lot this year either.
That's
I
true.
believe he's playing one night a week. Work keeps him busy.
Okay, back to sheet 2, our B feature. Chris Plies throwing first rock of their side, trying to freeze it. Ends up bumping a little bit, rolling off a little bit. Maxie now down 2 with the hammer. Could come top 4. Could tap the red and flop over on top of his own. We shall see. Looks like a little tapping weight there, William.
It does.
Pretty close. Yeah, maybe not. It's slowing up. Gonna curl. Just try to tap it just a little bit.
Sit on top of your own.
Yeah,
That's
there we
not a bad
go.
spot.
Okay. Mission accomplished. Pushed it a little bit. I maybe would have liked to see him push that just a hair further, but he got 1-2 out of it. Eileen Geving now.
Coming at it the other way.
Turn, draw. Wants to freeze right on top of the Maxi Stone. Love to sit right on top of this thing. Right to the nose. Just Plies sweeping, trying to get this rock to turn a little bit. Pretty darn good right there.
Good spot.
Fred Maxey now. Calling for a little out turn draw. Trying to sit on the center line half of the red stone that Geving just threw.
Yeah. Maxie's rock setting in second positions. Got a lot of good backing on it. That's for certain.
Mm-hmm. Rocks away. Maxey sweeping.
This is going to have
Now off.
a long way to go.
Yeah.
Got to get back to the other side of the center line.
No, I think he's fine line-wise. If he gets any kind of leg curl, he should be fine. Looking for the right weight here. Wants to be frozen on the side of it. Oh, coming in. All right.
Yep.
Just sits right next to it. Lying. Is he lying 2 or just 1?
I believe
1 and 3.
1. 1
and
and 3.
three?
1 and 3.
All right. 4 rocks thrown and 5 rocks in the 4-foot.
Let's quite the cluster.
This is the mixed doubles at its finest. And I think the 6th rock is about to make its way into the 4-foot.
I think they want to come down and just sort of rejiggle things a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
you could.
You've got to create some space on those yellows at some point, right?
The red one at this point is, it's not in a great spot, so maybe they're trying to put one right in the pocket there of those that top yellow and red.
I was feeling you come down
Move
basically.
it later.
You come down on the nose of that yellow and just make some space.
Yeah, I don't. If you can just sit on top of it, I think you're fine because you got the rocks in front on both sides. Yellow's position isn't going to get any better.
Right.
Almost. Just hit the outside of it. I think if she would have her druthers, she would like to just sit on the inside of it, but pretty darn close.
Neither of those last 2 rocks on that side curled as much as I was thinking, I don't think.
Yep. So, Fred could choose to come off of that red, maybe the inside of it, flop right back into the center, try to get another yellow rock into a better position. I don't know if with the intern, if he can get to the inside of the red, if he could do that, that would certainly be a possibility. Don't think that's there, though. So let's see.
It is tough to figure out who's sitting third.
I think
it's
yellow.
I
That back
think so,
yellow is
yeah.
sitting third, but it's not getting any better.
No, agreed. You can
Don't
never promote.
think it'll be
You can
third.
never promote from behind the tee line.
Yeah. In-turn draw. Okay, so maybe she can think that she sees the inside of that a little bit. If she can get to the inside of that red and sit again in that pocket there, would not be bad. Wants to hit the inside of it, though. Don't want to hit the outside. Which
Well, we
is
don't always get what
what's
we want.
going to happen. That's it. All right. Squeeze that red one in a little bit. All right. Still a pocket on top there. I like that. I like, stacking them up. Be the higher ones. Oh.
There it is. Gone final over on sheet 5. Michai over Walker.
Yeah.
Sean had a draw to the 4-foot for 2. It's just a little heavy, and then that led to the subsequent broom slam. Where is he? What do they got planned here, Douglas?
They're going to just try to sit right in the top part of that pocket again. That's the position. Yellow will still be 1, but red will be 2, 3, and sitting on top of the tee instead of behind it. It's really close here. This is
good.
Curling nicely. It's rubs. It's right in the pocket. That is a good shot.
Got trouble in River City.
Yep. I don't know how. We'll get 2 yellows in there now. Work to do.
Wow.
That's a great shot. That red one is in a good spot there. It's not going anywhere.
I don't think you can get to the... No, you can't get to that with any weight.
No.
Those top 2 red. I was thinking maybe you...
And even the center guard's a red one, so even that. Yeah, this is big trouble.
Little China.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rocks right around the 4-foot there. Love it. Measure that one.
No, thanks. I probably would just be like, what do you think?
Looks good.
Yep.
Take it.
Sounds good.
All right, yellow 2 rocks left in this end and the hammer. But in a spot of bother.
Yeah. I just do not see how you move those rocks out of there.
Well, you're not doing it on one shot. We're going to talk about it. talk about it as long as they like. I still don't see him coming out of here. What he's just trying to figure out where can we leave the yellow one that gives us something on our last one.
Yeah.
If red misses. Never the greatest position to be in. All right, they made their decision. What was their decision, Bill?
I think they're going to whack the red on the outside and try and move the other stuff off.
The corner red?
Yeah. It looked, well, they were pointing at that corner. I don't know how much they're going to whack it, but it feels like maybe you catch it right.
So he's hoping that his yellow then bounces and then jams onto the back 4-foot red.
Meanwhile, taking the red on the tee line probably straight out.
And not removing his own.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
I like it.
More or less pray for a miss.
Yeah. And then make another one.
Yep.
Good one.
Yep.
Here we go. Stephanie Jensen with her last here in the 8th. Not the team's last, but her last. All right, trying to hit this probably about as close a nose as you can. Try to stick around.
That moved some rocks.
Yes, it did. All right.
Ooh,
so we bounce that one around, take off the step.
Yellow lies.
All right.
Second and
third?
Second and I'm not even sure they're lying third.
All right. So to reevaluate the situation here. Yep, I like that. If you hit that yellow one, that is shot and flop in front of the other yellow one. That is game over.
Yep. I don't know why you wouldn't go after this yellow one.
Well, they're just trying to figure out what happens. Can they set anything up? Does yellow have a chance of making a double or a weird triple?
You might set up something wheelish.
Yeah. Brady Clark special here.
If you roll just a teeny bit towards the center.
Yeah, if he pegs it right on the nose, it sends up a call in Brady. Call in the right-hander. Wheel. So he wants to hit and roll here. Can't stick there. That's the only way that sets up something up, I think.
Yeah. Because right now there's not a double off those two reds. Well, maybe.
It's tough. Yep. Really tough. And I don't know, even if he sticks it on the nose, I don't know, is that one that you need to wheel off of? Is it so high that you wouldn't be able to hit the third red one?
I actually think the only way the wheel works is if he hits and rolls just a teeny bit to the center.
Gotcha.
I think if he hits and sticks, I don't think it's there.
Got it. So he needs to peg it or roll a foot.
Yep.
Got it.
Oh, strategy.
Yeah, he's got to be a little careful here. So yellow is 2 and 3. Is that right?
It is close, but I actually think red is 3.
Third shot?
Yeah.
It's kind of important.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here they go. I think Bill and I are both in agreement. If you hit this and roll over a foot,
roll out.
That is the optimum.
Yep. Clip and roll out. That's not terrible. There might be.
Yeah. If you hit it thin enough, you might actually get both potentially scoring yellows out of there anyway.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see what happens. Here we go. Last shot for Chris Plyce here in the 8th.
He is up.
Up 2. Definitely not light.
Feeling good.
Yeah. All right. Okay. That was, with that kind of weight, he wasn't trying to stick around, was he?
No.
He wanted it out of there, so.
Yep. This is a very flat double.
Yep. Now they're determining if this is there.
If it is, it's for the win.
Yeah. Can he throw it hard enough? I don't know. I haven't watched too much Fred.
I don't know.
Fred Maxey throwing.
I don't have a scouting report on
I'm
Fred.
behind on my videos, obviously.
Yeah.
Not behind on my reading, but behind on my videos. All right.
Well.
Wants to throw this Kevin Martin-ish.
In all respects.
Right. Well, absolutely.
If he makes this, I'll start calling him the bear.
He won't be throwing control. Let's go with that. All right. Let's see if Stephanie can keep up with this rock here.
What's he got to hit? 2/3 of this rock?
3/4. I don't think 2/3 even does it. Here we go.
Not
Little doogie push at the end there.
Yep. And it looks like the same result.
And ding.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
There it is.
So we have a final on sheet 2 here. Chris Plies, Eileen Geving end up winning 5 to. I guess they get the scoring one. So technically it's 6-3.
That concludes the draw.
Yeah, it is. That concludes the draw. Thank you, Bill.
Well, thank you, Douglas.
Nice working with you. Nice being the brunt of your jokes there.
It's just like every night.
Yeah, it's it's just like a league night. Yeah,
Yep.
This is great.
Totally
Perfect. We will be on again at 5 o'clock. Hope to see you all. Well, we won't see you.
Yeah,
you
I
know
was
what
going to let it go.
Yeah.
I tried to let it go.
Yeah, God.
For once.
I mean, it was perfect up until that very moment, and then it just. All right, with that win, let's see here. I got to read my script.
Do it.
So we just watched Team Plies and Geving victorious. That moves them to 2-0 over Fred Maxey and Stephanie Jensen, who are now 0-2. On our feature sheet, Corey Dropkin and Jamie Sinclair go to 1-0.
Convincing
defeating,
style.
yes, they were defeating Nancy Martin and Catlin Schneider, who go to 0-1. Sheet 4, Derek McLean and Alex Carlson off to a nice 2-0 start. They're 2-0 with their victory over Jason Smith, Monica Walker. Monica Walker and Jason Smith dropped to 0-2.
Oof.
And then on sheet 5, Mike Calcagno and Joyance Machai end up going to 1-1 with their victory over Sean Baton and Julian Walker, who fall to 0-2. On behalf of everyone involved, we hope that you've enjoyed this webcast of the 2016 Pacific Northwest Mixed Doubles Invitational, and we will see you all at 5 o'clock.
Bye-bye.